Hey guys, it's Equinox, and I'm going to be going over the 10.0.5 Brewmaster changes that I've done, the new build that I like, the new rotation priority that I like, and I'm going to basically show you how it works. First off, let's go over the new build. As you see here, we drop Bone Dust Brew now, and we go back to Charred Passions. So the reason I like Charred Passions is to take advantage of the Spinning Crane Kick and Blackout Kick buff, but also just because I prefer it. The damage difference is pretty much negligible right now. You just play whatever you like. I prefer Charred Passions, and to me, it makes you much better at the base rotation. So you look at the rest of the build. We drop Bone Dust Brew. We get 2 points in High Tolerance. We go Charred Passions. We go Pretense. We go Counter Strike. We go Training. It's pretty much the normal build, but we get rid of Bone Dust Brew in favor of 2 points in High Tolerance. The reason I like 2 points in High Tolerance is one, the haste helps with our energy regen. That will be spent. That'll help with our new rotation priority. And yeah, the general tree build. We go Speed Taunt. We go Fast Feet, or not Fast Feet. We go Celerity, and we don't go Bounce Back. We don't like Bounce Back. It's pretty bad. The reason this is pretty bad is because it procs on the very first auto attack of the pole. And that's pretty much, it just makes it useless. Like in high keys, it's very useless. Between Quick Sip, Healing Elixir, and Staggering Strikes, you can pick any of these. It doesn't matter. If you want passive effects, do one of these. If you're really good at using Blackout Kick on cooldown, I would just use this. Who cares? Doesn't really matter that much. Healing Elixir is fine. Quick Sip is fine. All of these are just pretty negligible. One gripe I do have is I wish that Clash was up here. I really wish I could just take Clash instead. It just sucks not being able to get it. It would be so helpful in some of these dungeons. Anyway, let's get into the rotation priority. So let's ignore Boon here, but let's look at the rotation breakdown. So this is going to be a lot different from before. So before, if you played in Watch Me, you would know that Resonant Fist and Spinning Crane Kick were up here, but Resonant Fist got nerfed, so now it's down here. Spinning Crane Kick was definitely a lot lower, but now it is our top damage. It is our biggest priority and our biggest damage dealing spell. So even without Bone Dust Brew, I'm still putting up big numbers. See, this is a no coup 23, did 86.6k. That's really good, right? So, yeah, we're going to go over the reason for this. So the reason for this is, one, Charred Passions takes advantage of this. See how much damage Charred Passions is doing. Two, the Spinning Crane Kick buff also goes extremely well with Counter Strike. So, you know, 100% increased damage on Spinning Crane Kick. This is pretty much up for every single Spinning Crane Kick that you do, just for how the talent works. And yeah. RJW versus Special Delivery. This is kind of personal preference as well, but I think RJW is better just because it makes Resonant Fist deal the most damage it possibly can. But yeah, so basically, all you want to do, you pretty much only want to be using Blackout Kick to buff Keg Smash unless it is a low target count. By that I mean like 3-4 targets. Then you want to be using Blackout Kick on cooldown just because it's a lot more damage. But anything more than that, you want to be spamming Spinning Crane Kick a lot. And another big change you want to make sure you do is using Exploding Keg. Every time you press Exploding Keg, immediately follow it with 2 Spinning Crane Kicks. That'll offer the most damage in AoE. I see my Exploding Keg here does like 17 mil total. It's around 10% of my damage. It's very, very strong. Yeah, really make sure you take advantage of Exploding Keg. But yeah, basically our rotation is just a lot easier without Bone Dust Brew. You can get in way more Spinning Crane Kick casts. You don't have to worry about pressing Bone Dust, then Exploding Keg, and then spinning. You know, it's just a lot easier to just get your stacks of Weapons of Order, throw your Exploding Keg down, and go. One big tip for damage that I see a lot of people mess up is keep mobs in your Tiger statue. It does a lot of damage in some of these dungeons. Like, it really matters. Like you see in this like Shadow Moon, it does 4.8% of my damage. If you see in this Halls, it does 4.4% of my damage. It does a lot of damage. So make sure you keep it in your Tiger statue. It adds up. But you see, like Blackout Kick is right here, 5.9%. Ideally, I wanted to be above Storm Eater's Boon. I want to be casting Blackout Kick in like these dungeons where you're doing like 4 or 5 mob pulls. It really matters. The opener is still the same. You're going to pre-RJW, put your Tiger statue down, Weapons of Order, and then go to your Keg Smash. One change that I did make in dungeons just to get a faster opener, I'll show you right here, is I kind of ignore Blackout Kick. So, like, say you're, like, grouping up a mob, I'll do something like this. And then I'm going to go into my boon. Refresh Breath of Fire, RJW. And then Exploding Keg, double spinning Crane Kick, Blackout Kick. And then you go back into your normal priority. So this allows you to get your 3 stacks a little bit faster, and you don't have to worry about maximizing your Blackout Kick and stuff like that. Obviously, spinning Crane Kick goes a lot higher with counter strike up, so a spin Crane Kick damage here is going to be a lot higher if you weren't if you were by. So this would basically be double, be up here. But yeah, that's basically what I mean. Like, you're using spinning Crane Kick more. You're just build. It's a lot faster opener. You're not bogged down by Bone Dust Sprue. You're not trying to min-max your Blackout Kick damage. It's a little bit less damage in the opener, but it's a lot faster. You're getting those cooldowns out a lot faster, and it's less stressful. And it's still a crap ton of overall damage, and it's just a lot easier. Like, it's like, my damage is insane. Like, it's not, like, affecting it much at all. It's just a lot less stressful. You don't need to stress all these little min-max things. You can if you want to, if you really want to min-max it, but I think getting it out faster consistently is better. Also, that's another big tip for doing damage is your cooldown timings. A lot of people mess up their cooldown timings. So I'm just going to go over like a simple route to like explain to you guys cooldown timings, right? So you're going to use, so say you do this pull, right? This is just an example. You're going to use your 2 minutes on this pull, and we're just talking about purely offensive CDs. You're going to use your 2 minutes on this pull, all of your DPS cooldowns. If it lasts a minute, you're going to use your second Exploding Keg right as it comes up. Then you're going to use your second 2 minutes on the boss, and then you're going to use your third Exploding Keg on the boss as well. But you aren't going to use your second set of 2 minutes unless it's tyrannical and the fight's going to be over 3 minutes. So since Fort, we're going to assume it's not going to be over 3 minutes, and we're going to use only one set of 2 minutes on this boss. Then this boss, we're going to use our 2 minutes again. And again, if it lasts over 1 minute, you're going to use your second Exploding Keg. But it probably won't, especially if you're not doing super high keys. Unless the heals go off, then it's kind of funner. But yeah, you get the idea. So 2 minutes here, and then this pull, you're only going to use 1 minute. This pull is a lot less dangerous to you than this next pull. So this next pull has 2 Shield Maidens and a Champion. And this pull has mostly casters. Like, this is just like 3 casters and 2 Champions and a Shield Maiden. That's not that bad. But yeah, you're going to go with 2 minutes into this pull. And this pull usually takes a little bit. And then this pull, you're going to use 1 minute immediately, and then this pull usually takes a while. So this is a certain, like, the reason I do this route is so I can get like 2 minutes on this pull, and 2 minutes always come up on this pull as well, because of how long this pull takes. Just due to the nature of the mobs. So you can use 2 minutes on this pull, and then 2 minutes on this pull. If your 2 minutes are not up on this pull, and they're up like at the very end, then you just use it on one of these guys. And then you use it on Herschel once. So basically the rule is bosses on Fort, 1 set of 2 minutes, 1 set of 1 minute. And then just make sure you get as many 2 minutes on the trash. After boss, you'll have it here. And then you'll have 1 minute here. Then you'll have 2 minutes for the boss. Then you'll have 2 minutes here, 1 minute here, and then 2 minutes here. So you guys can kind of see the cadence. Like, you're routing around, like, what cooldowns you'll have. Now, if we're talking defensive cooldowns, that's a whole different story, and it's a lot more complicated depending on pack length. But yeah, that's basically the damage cooldown. You could reflect this in any dungeon, like no cood. We can just go in here. Pull 1, this is your big 2 minutes. Then this pull is your 1 minute. This pull is your 2 minutes. This pull is your 1 minute. This pull is your 2 minutes, and you use 1 2 minute on boss, etc., etc. You see, you get the idea. So, but yeah, that's basically a really important thing you need to do to up your damage. If you're not doing that, if you're not making like good use of your cooldowns, you're going to do a lot less damage, and that's going to hurt you. So yeah, that's basically something I wanted to nail down, is using your cooldown timings correctly and making sure you're using it off cooldown pretty much, except on bosses. The reason you don't want to use it on bosses is because you don't get as much value, right? Like, you'll save like 10 seconds on the boss, 15 seconds on the boss, but you'll save like 20 seconds on a trash pack using your 2 minutes if you're really good at doing damage, and that makes a big difference. Let's talk about trinkets. A lot of people ask me what kind of trinkets I started using. One, if you are a raider, I'm going to go over the raiding trinkets first. Whispering Incarnate Icon, amazing trinket. It gives you so much verse. It's really insane. Oh, also, let me go over the rings really quick. So a lot of people ask me how the Broodkeeper ring does. This is worth getting on Heroic, so if you can just farm this on Heroic every week, absolutely do it. It does a good amount of healing, 8.3% in the no-cood. Shadow Moon, 9.5%. Halls of Valor, 9.2%. It's just good. It's very, very good. You really want to farm it. The Broodkeeper ring, I have the Mythic version, and it does 1.4% up to 2.3. I've seen it do 2.3. It just depends. It's okay. The main reason you want the Broodkeeper or this ring is for the stats. This one you want for the shield. Back to trinkets. Anyway, Whispering Incarnate Icon, really good for raid. A boon, Storm Eater's boon. This trinket is very, very good damage-wise, but obviously it is dangerous because it roots you. If you have very strong pack knowledge and good like mental timing on these trinkets, it's very good. So like for example, in these packs, you want to just use it immediately, right? You think you just want to press it. But if you press it immediately, then the Plane Stompers will do their stomp. So they'll do this War Stomp cast, like about 5 or 6 seconds in the pool, probably around 5 seconds. And you'll get stomped during boon, and you just have to hope you dodge it or you might die. But if you just wait the 5 seconds, wait for the cast to end, then use it, you'll get full value, unhindered, and you won't be in any danger. So that's awesome. So you each got to keep in mind what mobs do. So like in Court of Stars, there's a lot of frontals, right? If you're going to boon, save your sweep. Make sure you have sweep for when you're pressing your boon, and then you just sweep during the frontals. It cancels the cast. Easy peasy. Bosses, like in No-Cood, the last boss in No-Cood, this is kind of awkward. If you want to be greedy and use it on the last boss, you have to make sure you save Dampen and Celestial Brew to eat the lightnings, because they do hurt. But I would just recommend either using it on pull or using it in the intermission, and then you don't have to worry about it. Probably on pull because the intermission is lightning as well. But yeah, if you're smart and use your defensives to eat the lightning, you can, but it's a bit greedy. Algathar, using it's kind of awkward because of this everything outside of this first pull, it's really easy to use it on. But yeah, Boon's really good. It just requires a lot of mob knowledge and good timing. Now let's go over Alto to the Master. This on Heroic consistently does 4% of my damage. It's very strong DPS trinket. It's not super powerful. It's not boon powerful, but it is very good. It's consistent. It always does stuff. It's good. It's fine. And you can get it at 421 eye level if you mythic grade, which is a lot of agility. You can also get boon at 421 eye level as well, but the Dathia, not a fun fight. But yeah, Decoration, also a really good trinket, is a very solid trinket. I highly recommend this trinket if you want to play defensively. It does strong damage as well, around 3% of your damage 3% on Heroic, more on Mythic. So yeah, Spiteful Storm on Tyrannical Week. This trinket slaps. It is so good on Tyrannical Week. I love this trinket. It does a lot of damage. Highly recommend that. And yeah, let's go into Dungeon Trinkets. Ruby Whelpshell. I tried this a bunch. Not a fan. It's not really that good. I have fully trained in AoE. If you RNG, it's really good on single target. Like it's my top damage on single target. If you get decent RNG, absolutely slams. Especially if you get it during a damage amp phase. But it's 2 RNG. It's not consistent though. Granis, really strong trinket, good defensively. It's like 116k shield on Brew. I know the tooltip says something else, but it's it scales off verse, celestial force, and stuff like that. Windswept Pages, meh, you don't really care about it. Windscar Whetstone, absolutely insane trinket on single target. Highly recommend that one, especially on Tyrannical Week. Very good trinket. Definitely use that. What other trinkets are there in Dragonflight dungeons? I'm not even sure. Trinket. Oh, Begrudging Seed. This one's really like if you really want to be tanky, get this one. But I don't like it personally. It's okay. Not a fan. Bottle of Spiraling Winds you'll never use because haste is crap. Horn of Valor and Hunger of the Pack. I actually like both of these trinkets. So Horn of Valor I would use as a DPS trinket at high eye level, like 418 plus. 415 I wouldn't bother, but 418 plus I definitely would. I think it's really good. It sinks through Weapons of Order. Hunger of the Pack, absolutely good stat stick. You pair this with Whispering Incarnate Icon, and you have just a crap ton of free secondaries. Really like this trinket. And then Shadow Moon, we don't get anything. So yeah. Big highlights are Graniths, Hunger of the Pack, Horn of Valor. I think those are the mainly strong trinkets, and Windscar Whetstone. So yeah. And yeah, that's about it. So basically, the takeaways from everything is 10.05. We go this build now. In my opinion, I think it's a really strong build. It's a lot easier to play. It's equally as good and does really strong damage, and you get tankier with high tolerance. You get 2% more stagger. It's actually more. If you guys don't know, high tolerance scales more the more gear you have, so you get more stagger. You don't just get flat 2%. Quick sip, healing elixir, stagger strike, whichever one you want, doesn't matter. Focus more on spinning crit kicking your rotation. You don't need to stress blackout kick on your opener. It's not really that big of a deal. Rushing Jade Wind uptime really matters. Charred Passions uptime matters. Charred Passions uptime only matters if you are hitting buttons that are affected by Charred Passions. So if you're in single target and you're Rising Sun kicking, you don't need to refresh Charred Passions before. Just prioritize the Rising Sun kick, prioritize the Keg Smash, get those out. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts, my updates on Brew. Also, just a quick little thing about how people ask me how Brew stands. So the 10.0.5 changes gave us a lot more self-sustain. If you see how much like Gift of the Ox is 38%, this is never the case before. These were a lot closer, but now it's most of our healing. That's due to the new Strength of Spirit of the Ox talent. This one gives you a crap ton of spheres. I'm not sure if it's bugged or if it just has like a crap ton of or a really high proc rate, but we have a lot of orbs to use. So yeah, the changes don't fix our weakness. Our weakness is still like dungeons like Temple of the Jade Serpent. We just got absolutely clapped. But yeah, that's just I think we're really good. I think we do a lot of damage. I don't think we're as good as Warrior. I think we're also a little bit worse than DK, just because DK's they have a lot of CC. They have a lot of utility. They're immortal. Yeah, but I think if you live, Brewmaster is probably the best tank, because they can just do more damage. The issue with Brew is also you have too much healer retention. Unfortunately, you do a lot of self-healing now, but you still need a lot of healer retention. But yeah, they're really, really strong. They're definitely not as bad as they used to be. They can do as high key as you want. They're really good. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys learned something, and hope you have a good one. Peace out.